In Catalonia as a whole, housing prices increased by about 29% over the last decade. In Barcelona, the effect was larger. The average sale price rose from 212,000 in 2015 to 336,000 in 2024. That's around 60% of an increase. In 2022, the average prices per square meter were about €5,170 per meter square for new housing and €4,167 per meter square for second-hand housing.
Between 2014 and 2024, cadastral records show that housing in Barcelona increased by approximately 25,000 units. That increase, while not negligible, didn't keep pace with household formation, investor demand, and population increase. In short, prices climbed roughly over 40–60% in the decade, rents rose over 50% since 2014, and new housing additions about 25,000. These were insufficient. The result, affordability worsened and pressure concentrated in central districts, as the one I am right now, La Chambre.
London remains more expensive in its absolute terms. Average home values can exceed £900,000, and rents reach about £2,700 per month in 2025. But growth rates have moderated over the last decade. Recent annual growth closed 0.8%. So London is high cost but less fast growing than Barcelona.
So, the last 10 years show fast and concentrated price growth in Barcelona, modest addition to the housing market and steep rent increasing, a structural imbalance that set the stage for a deeper demand supply we are now going to analyze.
Let's start with the demand side of Barcelona housing market. Over the past decade, the demand curve has shifted continuously to the right, showing a stronger demand at every price level. The first determinants, the price of the goods, tell us that even housing price rose by almost 60%, people get value. That's price inelastic demand, because housing is a necessity and there are no close substitutes. Speaking of substitutes, renting only in outside the city became less attractive. Rents increased by 10–15% just in 2023, and community costs also rose. So even higher price didn't reduce demand.
Income growth couldn't keep up with housing costs. Real wages stayed the same while prices rose, forcing households to spend a higher share of income on housing. Finally, preferences and expectations changed. Barcelona appeal attract both residents and investors. The share of foreign buyers and investment purchases increased, adding speculative pressure and passing the demand curve farther to the right.
On the supply side, the market is also inelastic as the demand, and that's why prices react so strongly. Even with rising prices, new housing supply barely increased. But the biggest shock came from tourism. Thousands of residential houses were converted into short-term rentals and effectively removed from the long-term market. That's a leftward swing on the supply curve, and that means less available housing, and that drives the prices higher.
The government has tried to respond, introducing rent caps, expanding public housing, and regulating tourist licenses. But because both demand and supply are highly inelastic, these policies take years to have measurable effects.
So our recommendation is to prefer buy and hold in prime, growing outer districts, multifamily, student housing, or professionally managed portfolios, and above all, avoid single unit speculative short-term rentals.
The name of our policy is Tourist United Relocation and Supply Incentives. We have created this policy with the goals of relocating tourist rental stock to long-term housing while incentivizing new affordable supply to improve elasticity.
Our proposal has two parts. A. Shift tourist apartments to long-term rentals by ending tourist licenses, offering buybacks or subsidies, and enforcing compliance, freeing about 10,000 units.
And B. Boost affordable housing with zoning bonuses, subsidized land and tax credit for below-market projects. Together, these measures expand and make supply more elastic, lowering prices and improving access.